Have you ever loved someone so deeply that even reality felt too small to contain it? Have you ever closed your eyes at night and wished not for money, not for success, but for one moment, just one moment, where you could meet that person in your dreams? Think about that, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just about love. It's about desire, the kind of desire that builds empires, that changes lives, that rewrites your destiny. Most people live their lives half asleep, chasing things they don't truly feel. But you're different. You're here because something inside you refuses to settle. Something inside you believes there's more. And that feeling, that longing, that dream, that invisible connection you feel is not weakness. It's power. The question is, will you use it to escape reality, or will you use it to build a life so powerful that even your dreams start chasing you? You see, when people talk about success, they often make it sound mechanical. Work hard, be disciplined, stay consistent. And yes, all of that matters. But what they don't tell you is that the real engine behind everything is emotion. It's the real engine behind everything is emotion. It's the invisible force that wakes you up when you're tired. It's the reason you keep going when everything falls apart. And sometimes that emotion takes the form of love. Not just love for a person, but love for a vision, a future, a possibility. When you say, "My love, I want to meet you in my dreams," what you're really saying is, "I believe in something beyond what I can see." And that belief is where everything begins. I remember when I started my journey, it wasn't glamorous. There were no guarantees. No one was waiting to congratulate me. In fact, most people didn't even understand what I was trying to do. But I had something that felt almost irrational, a vision, a dream that kept me awake at night. And let me tell you something. Those nights when the world was quiet and everyone else was asleep, those were the moments where everything was decided, because success isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the silence, in the moments when no one is watching, when the only thing pushing you forward is that voice inside your head. And that's what I want you to understand. That voice you hear when you think about that person, when you imagine meeting them in your dreams, that voice is not just about them. It's about who you are becoming. It's about the version of you that refuses to accept limits. The version of you that is willing to feel deeply, to think differently, to act boldly. Most people are afraid of that. They suppress it. They distract themselves. They tell themselves it's unrealistic. But you can't do that. Not if you want to live an extraordinary life. Because here's the truth. Dreams are not meant to replace reality. They are meant to guide it. Every great achievement in human history started as something invisible, something imagined, something that didn't exist yet. And the people who changed the world were the ones who believed in those invisible things long enough to make them real. So when you say you want to meet someone in your dreams, don't stop there. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I need to build so that I can meet them in reality? What kind of person do I need to become so that I am worthy of that connection, that moment, that feeling? And this is where discipline comes in. Not the kind of discipline that feels like punishment, but the kind that feels like purpose. You see, discipline is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest desires. It's about waking up every day and saying, I'm going to take one step closer to the life I imagine. Even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. Let me be very clear with you. Success is not built on motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. But discipline is what stays. It's what carries you through the days when everything feels uncertain. It's what turns your dreams into habits and your habits into results. And once you understand that, everything changes, because now you're not waiting for the perfect moment, you're creating it. But here's something most people never realize. Failure is part of the process. In fact, it's a necessary part. Every time you try to build something meaningful, you will face resistance. You will make mistakes. You will doubt yourself. And in those moments, it's easy to give up. It's easy to tell yourself that maybe it's not meant to be. But that's exactly when you need to push forward. Because failure is not the opposite of success. It's the foundation of it. Every setback teaches you something. Every mistake brings you closer to clarity. And every time you choose to keep going, you strengthen that part of you that refuses to quit. That's how resilience is built. That's how resilience is built. That's how greatness is formed. Not in moments of comfort, but in moments of struggle. And let's talk about focus. Because in today's world, focus is one of the most valuable skills you can have. There are distractions everywhere, endless noise, endless opinions, endless opportunities to lose your direction. But if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to learn to filter all of that out. You have to decide what matters and commit to it completely. Think about it this way. If your mind is constantly jumping from one thing to another, how can you ever go deep enough to create something meaningful? Focus is what allows you to turn your ideas into reality. It's what allows you to take that vision in your head and build it step by step until it exists in the real world. And that requires patience. It requires consistency. It requires the ability to say no to everything that doesn't align with your goals. Now, let's go deeper, because this is where most people stop. They talk about discipline, focus, persistence, but they never talk about identity. And that's the real key, because at the end of the day, your results are a reflection of who you believe you are. If you see yourself as someone who gives up easily, you will give up. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will struggle. But if you see yourself as someone who is capable of achieving great things, everything changes. Your identity shapes your actions shape your habits, and your habits shape your life. So if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing how you see yourself. You have to start telling yourself a different story. A story where you are not limited by your past. A story where you are not defined by your fears. A story where you are the kind of person who turns dreams into reality. And this is where your dreams become powerful, because they are not just fantasies. They are glimpses of what is possible. They are reminders of who you can become. So don't ignore them. Don't dismiss them. Pay attention to them. Learn from them. Use them as fuel. When you say, "My love, I want to meet you in my dreams," understand what you're really expressing. You're expressing a desire for connection, for meaning, for something greater than yourself. And that desire, that's what drives innovation. That's what drives creativity. That's what drives progress. It's the same force that has pushed humanity forward for centuries. But here's the difference. The people who succeed are the ones who take that feeling and turn it into action. They don't just dream. They build. They don't just imagine. They execute. They don't wait for the world to change. They change themselves, and in doing so, they change the world around them. So what does that mean for you? It means you have a choice. Every single day, you can choose to stay where you are, to keep dreaming without acting, to keep wishing without building, or you can choose to step into your potential, to take control of your life, to turn your dreams into a plan and your plan into reality. And let me tell you something about the future. It doesn't belong to the smartest people. It doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most of the ones who are willing to adapt, to learn, to grow. It belongs to the ones who are willing to fail and keep going. It belongs to the ones who refuse to settle. The world is changing faster than ever before. Technology is evolving. Opportunities are expanding. And the barriers that once limited people are disappearing. But with that comes a challenge, because now the only thing standing between you and your goals is your mindset, your habits, your willingness to act. So if you want to create a life that feels meaningful, if you want to build something that lasts, you have to take responsibility. You have to stop waiting for permission. You have to stop looking for shortcuts. And you have to commit to the process, because success is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a series of decisions you make every single day. It's the result of small actions, repeated consistently over time. And those actions, they start with a decision to believe in yourself, a decision to take action, a decision to keep going no matter what. And one day, if you stay committed, if you stay focused, if you stay disciplined, something incredible will happen. You'll look back at your life and you'll realize that the dreams you once had are no longer dreams. They are your reality. The person you once imagined meeting, the life you once imagined living, it's all there. And in that moment, you'll understand something very powerful. You'll understand that it was never about escaping into your dreams. It was about using those dreams to build something real, something meaningful, something extraordinary. So tonight, when you close your eyes and you think about that person, that feeling, that dream, don't just wish for it. Decide that you're going to become the kind of person who makes it real. Decide that you're going to take action. Decide that you're going to build a life so powerful that your dreams have no choice but to follow you. Because in the end, it's not about meeting someone in your dreams. It's about becoming someone who can turn dreams into reality.